Namaste. Welcome. We'll give it a few moments for everyone to collect. If you're already on, please clear some space for yourself, right? And choose wisely on how you might sit today. If you're showing up for the first time, welcome. Welcome to where I happen to be at, Shakti. But welcome to us, so important. Welcome to us, right? Community of humans. Welcome to us, right? So yes, clear yourself some space, right? Make some space around you. And choose a seat that suits where you are at today. So we must ask, right? We must ask, where are we right now? How are we feeling? What do we need today, right? Check in, right? And it's so beautiful because as the names pop up, it's, and the thumbs up and the hearts and what have you, it's just so lovely. It's like, hey, I'm here. You're here, we're all here. Like this little kind of checking in, if you will, with each other. And it's super important as we can so easily and generously do that for others, that we must do that for ourselves as well. Make sure you understand that you are here for yourself as well as for others, right? So check in, right? Clear space. Say hello to each other. Welcome to us, right? But make sure you're saying hello to yourself as well, right? Check in with yourself. As we extend ourselves to others as best we can, right? Hey, how you doing? Thumbs up to you, heart to you, I'm here, you're here, yay. We must also do that for ourselves, right? All right, my loves, let's tune in together. Breathe in. Namaste. So welcome to us, this global virtual community of humans coming together to sit, to hold space, to check in, right? How you doing today, right? Check in. My neighbor shared with me that she was clearing her clutter room the other night. Clearing her clutter room. And I just found it amusing that that's what she called it. And, you know, I think it's probably safe to say that we all have some space within our homes, whether it's the garage or the attic, the basement, the spare bedroom, the den, what have you know, where clutter collects, right? I remember my Graham used to have a sun porch that, you know, all the stuff went in. It was kind of like the place to put the stuff, right? We all got a place to put the stuff, right? Or at least most of us do, probably. Because we accumulate, right? Our culture accumulates. And I just found it amusing, like I said, that she called it the clutter room. And I started kind of thinking about that word and, you know, how we can, in a kind of humorous-like way, name that the mind, right? The clutter room, right? The mind can be the clutter room. And it's really important that we check in and, you know, we clear it out every once in a while, or, you know, hopefully more than every once in a while, but usually clearing out our junk rooms is like a, you know, maybe once a year, if we're lucky, once a season, right? Like I just did my attic. I probably won't touch it again for another year, but, you know, as I was up there, I came across all kinds of old boxes that I had carted over from my mom's house where I had grown up, of, you know, my childhood memories, you know, decorations that were on the wall when I was a teenager, and report cards and what have you. And, you know, I just looked at these boxes and was like, why am I holding on to this? Yes, this was a lovely phase of my life, and I hope I remember it in years to come, but do I need all this stuff, right? Do I need all this stuff? Why am I holding on to it, right? And at any given day, we can ask ourselves that question. Hopefully we can ask with a sense of compassion, right? Not with a judgmental mind, because that's really not going to help us at all. But, you know, why are we holding on to our stuff, right? And sometimes I assume we need to hold on to our stuff, right? You have to figure that out. You have to do the work. But the time that it takes, the care that it takes, the attention that it takes, the energy that it takes to enter your clutter room, if you will, and go through the stuff and say, you know, okay, this served me back then, but really no longer has value now, I think is extremely important for each and every one of us to do, right? You know, the hard thing is to do the clearing, right? It's easy to decorate. It's easy to put more stuff in, right? We're a culture that's always looking outward, like, oh, what's our next project, our next move? What are we gonna put in? What are we gonna acquire? What are we gonna take? What are we gonna use? What's gonna help us? Some of it's valid and important. Of course, some of this is just nonsense. But the clearing out is far more challenging. And the exciting part is seeking out what might be next and adding it back in, right? So in the clearing out of the clutter room of the mind, right, we have to be attentive in such a way to, first of all, realize what you're holding on to. It's like going up to the attic or going into your cubby hole or what have you in your house where your stuff is stored and go, oh my goodness, there's a lot of stuff in here. You know, and that's just kind of step A, just to acknowledge that you got stuff, right? That you're holding thoughts. And I would imagine that some of them are necessary and need to be held a little longer, because we can't do all of our work all of the time and, you know, at the same time, right? Some stuff we have to attend to later that just might be too mammoth to deal with now. But I bet if we all entered the clutter room of our mind and we just kind of noticed what was there, what are the thoughts that we're adhering to? You know, adhering in the sense that we're stuck to, right? We're glued to, that we might be identifying with, right? That are creating the shape of our existence because we're adhering to certain thoughts. And as we get in there and as we start to examine the clutter room of the mind, we might come across something that is like, okay, this had value then, I understand why I have this, but I no longer need it. I no longer need to be carrying this. I no longer need to be storing this. We got to make some room, right? And the word that I put on the feed today was transform. Like, it's a word that we have to remind ourselves that we're capable of. As beings, we are in transformative, like, it's a right. It's given that we transform. It happens naturally. Transformation happens naturally, and it's only us, in our clutteredness of mind, that we seize, that we hold back transformation, right? And once again, we don't want to beat ourselves up for that. We want to address it compassionately. Like, look at these thoughts that I am holding on to that no longer serve me, that are stunting my growth, that are stopping, that are seizing my transformative experience, that is my birthright. As a natural being that came into this world, I am part of the transformative experience that is always happening, right? We are in a state of flux. And it's only the mind that seizes, that imprisons, right, us in such a way that we might be, so cluttered that there's no room to grow, so cluttered that there's no room to grow. So perhaps, I don't know if it suits you to nickname the mind, right? The clutter room. Because with that sense of humor, we can then transform it into the expansive space, right? The expansive space of mind. We are not our thoughts, right? We can't think our way through this life, right? Yes, strategy is essential right now. Organization, how we face these epic experiences that have been like uncovered, right? And we're finally dealing with, right? These are huge things, right? And part of transformation. But we must clear out in such a way that there's enough space to let new information in, or we can't grow, right? We can't move out of these crazy crises we're in if there's no room and space to grow. So the mind you have now is not potentially the mind that you can have tomorrow or the next day or even in 10 minutes or 10 years, right? Whatever it might be. If you do the work of, crawling into the attic and having a look and seeing what your clutter is and what are you holding that is no longer serving you. And just because you let it go does not mean that it did not have value. It's just no longer serving you. Honoring the expansive potential of the mind, right? You know that there's a chant to Shiva, Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchitanandam Vataye Nishpapachaya Nadam Lambaya Tejase. And I know I said it fast for time's sake, but the loose translation is honoring the letting go experience, which transforms us into more conscious beings. Honoring the letting go, like the willingness, your willingness to let go of something, is the very thing that lights the fire of transformation, right? And we transform ourselves into higher states of consciousness, right? We don't transform ourselves backwards, right? As we transform, we evolve, right? We evolve what we're aware of, and the relationships that we can have with fellow man, nature, divine, etc., right? But only if we're willing to let go of something along the way, right? We can't just keep holding on to the same thoughts, right? And the thoughts are not us, they're just a part of us, right? Breathe in through your nose. Out through the mouth. Move the body again. Again, and you're moving in such a way that you have more of a relationship with what's there. You're getting like tactilely connected to the lodgings of the thoughts, right? Moving the marbles of your mind around a little bit, right? And then when you're ready, if you're ready, let's sit together, right? Welcome to us, right? The community of humans. The community of humans that have thought, and the thoughts have purpose. The community of humans that are willing to expand one's mind in such a way that we realize that some of the thoughts that we're holding no longer serve us. And this willingness to clear, this willingness to let go of a little something. Soften across the brow. Release through your scalp and your hairline. Let your eyelids grow heavy. Your cheekbones become soft. Release the jaw and soften the throat center. And step inside your body. Understand your body as having a relationship with your reality. Your willingness to step into your reality right now. And come to notice your breath. So you're just going to take the mind as it bounces around and as it clutches to thoughts that might define who you are, right? Might fool you into defining your existence, right? Allowing yourself to have them, but allow the breath to release the clutch, the hold of the thought. And as the breath releases the hold, the clutch, the seize, the prison of the thought, it buffers. It creates this beautiful kind of halo pillow around the thought itself, making some space inside the mind's eye. And you don't have to choose whether today's the day you let go of that thought completely. Just be grateful that you notice you even have thought and that you even have breath. Honoring the clutter room of the mind as you go to the breath. Honor it in such a way that you understand it's just a habit, it's just a place to put your stuff, it's just a place where the thoughts get stuck. We're not trying not to have the thought, we're trying to release the thought. And maybe that thought just gets pushed over to the other side of the room. Maybe it doesn't even go away completely. But just that there's a little bit of airiness and spaciousness within the thoughts of the mind, within the clutter of the room. Soften whatever you feel like you can soften right now. Sit in your breath. Observing the belly as it puffs on the inhale and as it empties on the exhale. And gently encouraging the breath to move up the body on the inhale and down the body on the exhale. And just notice breath moves. Breath is your cleaner. Breath is your washer. Breath is your filter. All those thoughts still might be there in the clutter room of the mind, right? But maybe we're not adhering to them quite so tightly, quite so rigidly. And as we release the rigid hold, we're giving them a chance to slide around a little bit. Right? The breathing room of the mind. If you care to join us for our daily lung strengthening exercise, we will attempt to breathe as slowly and deeply as we can, without judgment and full of compassion as we attempt it. Empty the breath from the underbelly. And breathe in. Retain. Breathe out. Retain. 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 Release the lock of the underbelly, letting the breath go, letting the breath flow. Feel free to move the body. Lightly tossing the marbles of the mind around, giving them some chance to rearrange. Maybe one of them will even drop out, right? Maybe a marble will drop out of your skull, right? Making more room. A few more moments to sit in the glory and the power of the breath as it buffers the mind, creating a little clearance in the clutter room. And it is from this clearing, from this willingness to let go, this consciousness rises, right? As something drops down and falls off and falls away, as we shed, as we release, as we let go, something comes up, consciousness rises. And within that consciousness, maybe we're graced with a privilege and awareness of, it's no longer serving me, right? That thought no longer serves me. Resting the hands at the center of the heart, honoring this precious time of us sitting together, of us breathing together, of us expanding our minds together. Breathe in. Namaste. Namaste. Please feel free to use these scroll feeds as a chance to check in with each other. Just say hello to the community of humans that choose to join us. You know, always welcoming in the new folk. I hope that this is a springboard for the rest of your day, perhaps opening the mind just the tiniest bit further, right? You know, cleaning one's attic is never an easy task, right? And sometimes it's quite daunting, right? Because we have to face some old stuff that's been up there for a while. And sometimes it's just kind of like laborsome or even mundane, right? There's a lot of like just mundane thoughts in the mind that are just sticking around collecting dust, right? That we didn't even know we had. So essentially it's up to us to just check in each and every day if we have that will, that drive, and that support. Just check in. How are you doing, right? And as we ask that question, we open the mind. So, whoa, you know, maybe we come to realize we're holding a thought that no longer serves us, right? So thank you for showing up. I encourage you to share these feeds, due to the whole algorithm thing and me not being like a super social digital person here. Like, I'd love it if you could share this on your feed, just so more people know that we're coming together to sit, right? And even though this was birthed out of a very crucial time of trying to keep community of humans together during crisis, it's really turned into certainly a ritual for a lot of us. So thank you for those that are showing up consistently. And there's many ways to show up, and there's many ways to share, right? All right, let's seal it up. Christina's placing some information about ways to contribute if that's for you, if you happen to be blessed with income right now. I have none. Like, this is my service, this is my career, this is my path. There are no dollars coming in other than from those of the students to keep Shakti and me going. So I'm always extremely grateful for that. Thank you, my loves, and have the best day you can have today. Let's send it out. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live with an easy heart. Namaste.